Hello everyone, very good morning and welcome to the ABAP Debugging Made Easy from Basic to Advanced course. This is session number 11. This is extension of the course. We were supposed to complete in 10 sessions, but we were not able to do. So we are conducting this session, one session for debugging the inbound IDOC and the second session for debugging the outbound IDOC. If again required to extend some more session, we will do that. So here the agenda for the today's session is we will understand the basic IDOC flow because this is important in order to debug the IDOC, whether it is inbound or outbound. So we should have the basic understanding of how IDOC flow from one system to another system. So let's understand the basics of IDOC. So let's suppose you have one system, this one, SAP one system, and the another system we have SAP 2 system. So generally we use the IDOC for the purpose of synchronization of data. For example, if you have to send the data from the HR system to ECC FICO system, so HCM system sends the IDOC to the SAP 2 system on the regular interval via the scheduled job. So if you see, the IDOC is nothing but it's a container. The full form of its is intermediate document. So intermediate document between two systems which carries the data from one system to another system, which carries the data from one system to another system. This is the meaning of IDOC. IDOC consists of three parts. One is the control. Control will contain the information of destination system. Then it will control the information of sender system. It will contain the information when the IDOC has triggered from sender to destination and it reaches to destination system. Okay, so it consists of all the technical information. It also consists of what's the message type and basic type of an IDOC. Okay, so if you want to know like in more detail about the IDOC, we have the course also, and as well as the same course I have put some of the initial videos on the YouTube. You can have the basic understanding from there as well. You can just search ALE IDOC playlist by Pankaj, and there all the basic understanding which is going to be very much important in order to work in ALE IDOC environment. Okay, and for debugging also those basic understanding is very important. So just first 2 or 3 videos, please go through and watch it out. Here I'm just giving the overview. Okay, so IDOC consists of three parts. One is the control, another is the data part, data under which it's going to consists of what's the data it's going to transfer. I will show you one IDOC. Okay, and the third is the status. What is the status of IDOC when either it is going to pass from the SAP 1 system and when it is reaching to the SAP 2 system. So let's suppose the IDOC is coming from SAP 1 to SAP 2 system. So when successfully transferred from SAP 1 to SAP 2 system, its status going to be set successful. Like if you go and check that one, it will be 03 successful transfer from SAP 1. So if you go and check that IDOC, that their status will be 03, and once it comes to SAP 2 system, at that time generally its status is going to be 64, means ready to process. Okay, so from SAP 1 you are going to send the data using the IDOC from SAP 1 to SAP 2 system. Okay, So here, once it's successfully transferred, the status is going to set as 03. And here, once the IDOC comes, and here in SAP 2 system also the data need to be updated in the relevant table, right? So for that purpose, generally in SAP 2 system, we use some function module, okay? Because what this function module does, it takes the data from the IDOC. Let's suppose the IDOC number is here, something 001. The number, this is the IDOC number. Each IDOC is recognized by its number. So IDOC number 1 is having some data. That data will be taken by this function module, and inside this function module, logic is written to update the data into SAP 2 system. So when we talk about the debugging of inbound IDOC, okay, so what is the inbound and what is the outbound IDOC? Okay, what is the inbound and what is outbound IDOC? See, the IDOC 0001 is going to be same for SAP 1 and SAP 2, but for SAP 1 it will be what, outbound or inbound? Who will tell? Just write here in the comment box. For SAP 1 system, it is outbound or inbound. What do you think? From SAP 1 it's going to SAP 2. The meaning of outbound means going out, right? Going out. Very good. And inbound means coming in. So here the same IDOC, this is going to be outbound, and here the same IDOC, it's going to be inbound. Okay, good answer. Thank you for giving the answer. Okay, so SAP 1 outbound IDOC and SAP 2 inbound IDOC. We are willing to debug. Let's suppose we are we can see that there is the data which is not getting updated in SAP 2 system. Then how we can debug? For example, I have already prepared one IDOC. Okay, this is the IDOC number. Okay, and tell me the T code where you can go and see about the IDOC. Which T code we use for the purpose of, you know, displaying the IDOC? WE02 or WE05. Very good. WE02 or WE05. So you can go to WE02 or WE05, any of the T code, and there you can give the IDOC number, and you can display. So remove this date foundation, run this one, and you can see that here this is the IDOC number. Under here the control segment you have, this is the type info, basic type, the message type, right? Basic type like the technical information, and the message type here, this is for the semantic purpose. Okay, so please go through those basic videos and try to understand more about the basic type and message type. This most basic type can be used in multiple messages type. Okay, this basic type consists the technical information. This message type is for the purpose of semantic information. Okay, so one basic type can be used in multiple message types. Sometimes IDOC is defined as the instance of the message type. Okay, just give me a second. Fine. So here you can see that the message type, now you can see the partner. This is the recipient, that SAP S20 is the receiver system, right? Here I'm telling that SAP 2 is the receiver system, right? In the same way, in this context, here SAP 20 is the receiver. This is the port basically. This is the receiver system, D underscore receiver, and the partner type is the LS, logical system. This is the sender information over here, sender port, right? Partner number, That means the sender system D underscore sender, and the partner type, this is the logical system. Okay, please go and watch out, all these things is there in the more detail. Technical information over here, the SAP release the basis version, when what was the basis version when that message type has been defined. Okay, that's the meaning of this. So when that message type has been created, the basic type message type, it asks for the SAP release, means with which SAP release this particular version is compatible. Okay, so NetWeaver 7.53, we know how to check, right? So how to check the SAP basis version? It's simple. You can go to the system, go to the status, and click on this here, 7.53, right? This is means this particular message type is compatible with this NetWeaver 7.53. That means this is valid. Okay, address and all you can also maintain, and another detail, not that much important. The important thing is this partner and this technical information. Here in the technical information, the time of creation when the IDOC has been created from the sender system, and when has been received to the so see when this has been created from the sender system, this is what, and the last database update. Okay, 01022022. Yesterday I was processing this one, so the last database update is the 1st August 2022. So hope you got some idea about this control record, what kind of data it consists of. Under the data records, you can see that you have the different segments: ZEMP underscore SDR, ZEMP underscore item. Just a second. Okay, fine. So this is the message type, right? We understood. And here the different segments we have just seen, and how the data over here. The ID is 10, the name is the Pankaj Kumar, city is Pune, right? And here, let's suppose this is the mobile number, right? Under this main segment, the child segment, you have this one. And here status 60, the different status. When the very first time it has came, it was there in the 74, right? See here, IDOC was created by the test transaction. 50, IDOC added. 64, IDOC ready to be passed to the application. 69, IDOC was edited. 69, IDOC was edited. So this is what the different status it is having. So three part of this segment you can see, right? Three part of this segment. One is the control record, another is the data record, and the third one is the status record, right? Control, data, and status, the three one. Fine. So now let's suppose this particular IDOC is going to update the employee table. Okay, this IDOC is coming from some different system. Just assume over here, because currently I'm having the single system only. Okay, so just assume this IDOC is coming from some another system, and here the purpose of this IDOC is to update this particular ID 10, this mobile number and all in the table. Which is the table? So there is a table called I know that table. I will just let you know which table it is going to update. Let me see if I have written it over here. Okay, no problem. Fine. So one table is there, some G table. I will let you know what is that table. Just assume that the table is not getting updated or you are getting some error over here. Under the status itself, if some error is going to come, the status will go into 51. 51 is for error. Okay. And if some error is coming, here you will see that particular information, what is the message for that particular error. So that also we can read it out and we can try to debug. Okay, but still like that is not going to help. You have to debug the program, right? So in order to debug the program, you have to identify the function module, because if you see here that the inbound function module is responsible for processing the inbound IDOC. Okay, inbound function module is responsible for processing the inbound IDOC. So once you identify the inbound function module, you can start debugging. So the first step, what your first step should be, identify. So the problem statement over here, we have how to debug the inbound IDOC, right? So first inbound, identify the inbound function module which is responsible for processing the inbound IDOC. Okay, so you have to identify the inbound function module, the very first point, this one. Second point, but in order to achieve the first point, how you can identify the inbound function module. Okay, so first way, first way, first, there can be several way. Okay, there can be several way. The most easiest way, what you can do, that go to T code WE57. Okay, and there you pass the message type and basic type. From where you will get the message type and basic type? The message type and basic type you will get from the IDOC. Okay, functional people will give you the IDOC number. You can go to WE02, right? Let's suppose one functional is coming to me and he's telling that, Pankaj, the IDOC number is 6009. It is not updating that employee related table. Can you check? So I will take this 6009 and come over here in WE02 or WE05, anything is okay. And I'll give the IDOC number over here. I will remove this time stuff and I will come. I will go to this control record, and here under the type info, this is the basic type. I will just note it down somewhere in notepad. This is for the basic type, and the message type is this one. This I will note it down, the message type. And what I will do, that I will go in which transaction in order to identify the inbound function module, guys. Tell me. Just I have written the T code where you can go and identify the related function module which is responsible for inbound function module, inbound IDOC. Which T code is there? WE57. Just I have written over here WE57. All right. So let's go to the WE57 slash N WE57, and here what you will have to do, that you have to you know, you can click on this position, but position, if you know the function module, then you can click on this position, but you are trying to find out the function module name itself, right? So instead of clicking on position, better what you do, that go to the selection and click on this by content. Okay, and here select this basic type and message type. Okay, click on this OK button. Just give the basic type over here, the one which you have. So basic type, and this is the message type. Copy this and paste it over here and click on this choose button, and you can see that it has chosen what, this is the function module. So this function module is responsible for processing the inbound IDOC, right? So what you got, that we got this particular function module. You can go and analyze this function module slash o sc37. Come here. If it is the custom function module, if it is the custom IDOC, it's very easy to debug and all. But if it is a standard one, you have to put little extra effort, because that might be the part of the standard framework, right? And most of the time we realize that debugging the standard is always little tricky, little difficult. Okay, but nothing to worry, that also can be debugged, right? But custom one you can easily debug. So most of the time we are going to debug the custom only. Okay, custom stuff only we are going to debug. So here you can see that the function module, the what it is doing, it's putting the loop on the IDOC data, right? So whatever the data is coming from the IDOC, on those it's putting the loop. Okay, so framework automatically, here you can see that you have the two import parameter. Here you have the tables. Under the tables you have the control, IDOC data, IDOC status. So these are the responsible parameters which are going to consist all these three information: control, data, and status. Automatically your those data will be coming in this internal table, and now you can process, right? So first what it is doing, it's you know uh first it's checking the segment, and if the segment is z employee underscore str, it's putting the data over here. This is how we do the coding. Just go and check those complete course and you will be understanding how we do the mapping and all. Okay, if you don't know that, no problem, just try to debug like this. You will be having the idea how you can debug. Okay, so now the problem statement over here, it's not updating the employee ID. Okay, it's not updating the employee ID, and that's where we have to debug it. Okay, so let's run that, let's reprocess that particular slash OWE05. Already we have opened this one, right? This particular IDOC is having the employee ID, this one 10, right? The name Pankaj and city Pune, here the mobile, all these things is there. It is supposed to update where? It's supposed to update this table. This table. This is the table Z employee underscore M. This is the table where the data is getting updated. Okay, data is not updating in this table. Basically, how I've checked it. So we will reprocess the IDOC. How to reprocess the IDOC, right? Again, we want to reprocess and check why the data is not updating. How to reprocess the inbound IDOC, because we want to check whether where it is not updating the data. So we have to again reprocess the inbound IDOC, right? So there are two ways. There are two ways. One using WE19 and another is BD87. Okay, using WE19, this is the first one, and this is the second one. So WE19, what it will do, it is very easy, it is very convenient actually. WE19, in interview they will ask also, the first question generally what they ask, what is the T code through which you can identify the related inbound function module of a particular message type. You have to tell the WE57, simple way to identify the inbound function module. Okay, then they will ask that what is the difference between WE19 on and BD87. Okay, before that they can also ask what is the test transaction to reprocess the inbound IDOC. So you have to tell WE19 is the test transaction to debug the inbound IDOC. Test transaction means just for reprocessing. Okay, so it is very convenient. Only one problem what it is having is that you know it it will create the duplicate IDOC. Okay, it will create the duplicate IDOC, and you know PD87, it will not create the duplicate IDOC. This is good from this point, but this is not that much convenient actually. Why? Because it only supports for 64 and 66 status. So if your IDOC status is there in 64 or 66, then only it's going to be work. WE19, you don't have to worry, whatever the status, it's going to reprocess. Only the drawback is that it will create a duplicate IDOC. It will create a duplicate IDOC. And in production system, like if we're going to use the WE19 and if it is going to create the duplicate IDOC, from the audit point of view, they face the problem if the organization is big. Okay, because in auditing they check each and everything. What is the purpose of this IDOC? Why multiple IDOC? So they will be responsible for giving the answer. So why to put them there in the problem? So better in production system, don't use this WE19. And one of the major difference between WE19 and BD87 is that we are not supposed to use, not recommended to use the WE19 into production system. So don't use this. Don't use this in prod. Here in BD87, you know, you this BD87, you are supposed to use BD87 in the anywhere you can use this. Anywhere you can use this BD87 development, test system, and in production. Why? Because it does not create any duplicate IDOC. Okay, WE19 you can use in development and test system because nobody curious, like in development and test system whether the extra IDOC is going to create or not, right? And it's very convenient to use. Like if you can edit the data, you can change the data. In VD87, it's not that much simple to change or edit or the data, right? So what you understood over here, we can use WE19 or BD87 for the purpose of reprocessing the inbound IDOC. WE19 is very convenient. We can use in development and production, development and test system. We are not supposed to use in prod system. BD87 you can use anywhere, like in development or test or production. Anywhere we can use the BD87. But only the problem with this is that it will work with 64 and 66. Okay, status. So how you can make any status? Let's suppose currently this IDOC, the status of this IDOC, if you go and check it out, it's here in 69 current status. So 69 status, if it is there in the production system, right? We will not use WE19. If you are going to use the WE19 for the purpose of reprocessing, all right, in test or development, that is completely fine. But in production, we would not like to, we would not use this WE19. Okay, so what we will do that we will change this current status from 69 to either 64 or 66, because BD87, if you just go and check it, BD87 over here, and give this 6009. Here, just run it and see. Here, if you try to process, click on this, you have to select this, click on this process. You can see that application document not posted, no data present, this, that. In fact, it is not new status from 69 to 51, it was changed, right? So I think 61 also it is allowing, otherwise, you know, uh, so 51, here you can see that it's 51 also it allows. Okay, not only 64, 66, it allows 51 also, the error one. Okay, 51 also, 69 also you have seen that, but generally it does not cover all kind of a status. We have seen that 69 also it is allowing, 51 also, because the error one it is there, so it is going to click on this process, and you can see that it's allowing. Or else it, in beginning itself, it will tell that for such kind of a status it is BD87 is not possible. So for example, like if it is there in the 53, I'm sure that if it is in 53, 53 means successful. So if it is there in the 53 status, it will not allow you to reprocess because already it is successful. But if you try with the WE19, the 53 status, there you can do with the 53 status as well. Okay, so here 64, 66, 51, 69. Why I remember this 64 and 66 only, because generally what I do that whenever I get any status, generally like the 53, we convert from 53 to 64 or 66. How we can do that conversion? We have a program. So SC38, go to RC1 IDOC set status. So this is the program. We're gonna run this program, give the IDOC number over here, put this IDOC, and message type is not required because we are giving the IDOC. The status currently it is 51. 51 means error. And let's suppose I want to change into 64. I remove this test. Okay, just run this and the status will be changed. So now it is there in the 51. Now it will be here in 64. See here, it's there in the 64 status. Okay, you can process this and you can see that this is the error, no data present, it's telling, right? The error is telling that no data present and it's not updating. So what I will do, I have to debug now. Okay, you can use all the debugging principle, right? Double click over here on the error text. This is the message number B1005. You can put the dynamic breakpoint, right? As we have discussed, correct? B1005, and you can backtrack. So let's try to find out by conventional way. If you are not knowing about the function module and all, right? Find out the error text, right? And from there, find out the message ID and message number. Okay. And then, put the what? Which kind of breakpoint we can put it? Tell me. Dynamic breakpoint, right? we can use the dynamic breakpoint. So breakpoint at or press F9. Simple. As a developer, we are supposed to press F9. It is convenient and fast also. Go to the message, paste that message ID and message number. First two is for the message ID and last three. So what happens that the just a second. It was B1005. So last three will be the message number, and whatever the remaining, that is going to be the message ID. So last three, I'm just going to cut it. So remaining is the message ID, and then last three is your message number. Okay. Click on this OK, and now simply press F8. It didn't stop over there. Okay. I think I did something wrong. Let's do one thing. Selecting once again /H and click on this reprocess. Okay. Press F5, press F9, message B1 and 005. Press enter. Already it is existing. So just simply press F8. Okay, it's not stopping. You can see that error text is coming from here. Message number B1005, but it's not stopping. Okay, do one thing, just go back completely, just completely go back. Okay, and try to debug once last time. Okay, /H. So there might be the region already the data will be filled in the internal table, and that's why it is not triggering. That's why I went completely back and then I'm trying once again. Okay, using the conventional method. B1, press enter. Already that is there. Run it. It's not stopping. So nothing to worry, because it's not stopping. It is supposed to stop, but due to some, you know, framework limitation, or not sure what is going to be bad over here, because this message number and message ID is coming. It is supposed to stop, but not to worry. We will use the other method. Which method? We have already identified the function module. There we will go and put the breakpoint. This is the function module we have identified by going into the WE57. So /O WE57, sorry, we that was the function module, right? So go to /N SC37 and give this function module, click on this display button and put the breakpoint over here. Again, go to BD87, same transaction, and give that IDOC number 600, run this one, select this and click on this process. And this time you can see that debugger was hit. Okay, and you can start debugging now. Okay, so let's go and see what's the problem it is. So in IDOC underscore data, all the data is coming perfectly. Employee header and item. In employee header, 10 Pankaj Kumar and the city Pune is coming fine. The data comes in the in this format actually. Okay, you can see that S data C 1000, 10 Pankaj Kumar and Pune. Okay, so in this string format actually the data comes. Okay, so if you this IDOC underscore data, you go and check it, table, and here this one. All right, so see, long character, the data comes into this long character data type format. The length is 1000, so up to 1000 data you can put into, so all the data is coming into this particular segment. Maximum length is 1000, LCHR, long character, the data type. That's what, right? So all the segment will be of type long character. Okay, and they will consist the data like this. So this is fine. It's the segment employee header 1, right? So let's go and see. So do we have any? Let's go and see what are the different segment. We have this segment and this segment. Z employee underscore header and Z employee underscore item. Let's go and run this. So the first Z employee item, it's coming over here. Item, this mobile number is coming, right? So in now let's go and see what's it's getting the problem. Z employee is not initial. It's telling this not initial, right? It should be. So this is getting blank, right? This is getting blank, and that's why the control is not coming over here and it's not updating this particular database table, right? So we have to see that why it's not getting populated, right? So when ZEMP underscore SDR and 1 it's there, let's go and see. Okay, here you can see that Z employee underscore SDR, right? So in code, we have the problem. So what is the problem? 1, it is there. It should be simply SDR. Okay, so either segment need to be corrected or code need to be corrected. So in segment, it should be SDR1, right? So so maybe some in some correction someone would have done from nothing to 1. That is the possibility, right? So what we will do that we will, let me close the other session. What we'll do that we'll go and correct this particular code, or in debugging also, just for the purpose of that we have done, means our finding is correct or not. In debugging also we can check it out, right? So what we will do that in debugging, once again F6, the first the segment is coming HDR, and here we have HDR1. So what we will do that simply we'll put 1, so that it will go inside this, and here so that it has come this time. Second is already coming, and now, and here more at modify it's coming. So in debugging also we have verified that that was the region, right? So we will go and correct this particular code, and then our issue will be solved, right? So this is what basically you have to do. So I'm going to skip this one, press F8 again, like, because I have skipped, nothing I have done, so the same status is there. So what we will do now, we will first go and check the content in this particular table. So this is the database table. Click on this content, run this, and currently here only SID01 you have, right? SID Mumbai, SID, and the ID01 SID something something like that. The data is coming, right? That the new data Pankaj and TN, all this ID is not coming. So once we will correct the code, we'll just go and test it. So just go back, go back, go back, go into the change mode, and here remove this, save this, check the syntax, activate this. So this is fine now, and go to the BD87 now and click on this process, and you can see that this time the status is 53, right? Application document posted successfully. Okay, and now go once again to that particular table where the data supposed to be updated. So you didn't get any, and the 10 Pankaj Kumar Pune is getting populated perfectly. There is no problem. Now the mobile number is not populating, so you can debug in the same way, and you can check why the mobile number is not populating, or if there is some another problem. Choose field, ID, name, city. So mobile number field itself looks like in this table is not there, right? See, mobile number field is itself not there. So how it will be populated? You have to put the mobile number over here, extra field, and then you have to write the logic uh, in the program to populate that mobile number. So this is how actually you can debug the inbound IDOC. Is it clear, guys? Just put yes if you understood. It is item table. This is uh, okay. Let's go and see once again. Run this data structure. This is the header, right? And this is the item. So there might be that for the mobile number they might be updating in some another table. So good catch. Let's go and see if they are updating the mobile number in some another table. So this is basically the header table, the one we have just seen. Okay, this is the header table, all the header information. Let's see for the mobile number. So mobile number they are capturing where in LFS item, right? So LT underscore Z employee underscore see, just search over here and look into this count. There is no logic for mobile number actually, right? Now here this mobile number will be populated here, correct, in LFS item. So let's see if they are using this LFS item for anywhere to populate the mobile number. Yeah, Z employee, Z EMPC. So this is the stuff where they are using here ID, CNT, and mobile. This is the another table where they are populating the mobile number. Let's go and see. So it should be there for the ID 10. My ID was 10, right? No table entry is found for a specified keys, right? Press F8. So mobile number is coming, but it's not coming correctly. See here, it's coming too. So this also you can go and check it out. What's the problem? It's updating, but what's the mobile number I have given? This one. So it's taking only 2. Why only 2? That need to be checked. So that we can debug in the same way. You got the idea how to debug, where to put the breakpoint. The important thing is to identify the function module, put the breakpoint over there, and now you can start debugging why the mobile number is not getting populated. Okay, so that we can debug. Fine. Now, one important point over here, this is the first way how you can identify the inbound function module. The second way, through the partner profile also you can with WE20. WE20 is for what? Partner profile. Okay, partner profile. So through this also we can identify the function module. So in interview, someone is asking how you can identify the function module. If you tell both the way, they will be impressed. Okay, because these are the only two ways through which you can identify, right? So with WE20, through this, one more way can be right from directly table. You can go and check it out. W57 is nothing but your SM30, right? Means your maintenance. So the table, if you ask about that table, so that can be your third way. So WE57 here, right? So this is the table maintenance generator, right? And for this, like if you go and click on this print table, you can go to this view, VEDIEDFI, whatever the view name, through AC11, or let's go and see /n AC11. This the view automatically it's coming. Click on display. See here. So through this view also you can go and check it out, right? Through this view. So ultimately it's opening what? It's opening this one only, right? So this is the SM30 view, maintenance view, right? Anyway, this two is sufficient, either W57 or W20. So W20, how you can do? So what you will have to do, /n WE20, you have to go, and you have to go to the logical system, right? Why? Because if you observe that particular, so 99% stuff we deal, at least I have deal with the logical system only. Okay, so this was my IDOC. You can go and check it out. Here you can see that the partner type is logical system, right? So from WE05 or WE02, you can go and explore and you can get the maximum information from there. So remember always WE02 or WE05. You have to come to the partner type ls here, and you have to identify the partner number. So see here, the partner number is D underscore sender, right? This is the partner number D underscore sender. Under the control, this is the partner. This is the recipient information D underscore receiver, D underscore sender. So see, this is the inbound IDOC. What kind of IDOC is this one? This is the inbound IDOC. So we will be interested in the recipient information over here. This one, because this is the inbound IDOC, we are going to be more interested in the inbound IDOC rather for the sender information. So just leave this one, come here. Okay, so find out this is D underscore receiver is your what? The partner number, the system where your IDOC has come. Okay, so what you have to do, that you have to go to the WE20, and there you have to identify the receiver partner number, because this is the inbound IDOC. If it would have been the outbound IDOC, you can go to this sender information. Sender means outbound, right? Receiver means recipient. So now just go back over here, and I have already opened somewhere W20, yes. And what it was, receiver, right? Click on this partner D underscore receiver, and under the inbound, you search for your message type. Okay, under the inbound, you have to search for your message type. So what is the message type? Just go and check out your message type. This one, j employee underscore det underscore mt. Okay, why it's not here? Okay, what it seems like, the same system they have used for the inbound and outbound. That's why you are able to see this discrepancy. They might have used the different client of the same system. you know So if you are not able to find this message type over here, what you can do, you can say check out into outbound also. But there are two. But if there are two different system, find out the receiver system, go to the inbound, find out the message type over there, and then go into detail. Right? Means if you double click over here, it will take you to the detail. And again, this is a process code. Again, double click over here, it will give you the function module. Identification is nothing but your function module, and this is how you can find the function module. So here you can see that here it's not present because the same system, the different client they have used for the sender and receiver. So nothing to worry. Check out into the outbound. Okay, check out into the outbound using the sender, the sender for the d underscore sender. And here now you can see that for the inbound we have this one, right? Why? Because why such kind of discrepancy we are able to find? Because the same system they are using for the inbound and outbound using the different client. Okay, so here if you just come control a record under the partner, this is the recipient information, right? This is the receiver system, SAPS20. Okay, and this is the sender information, D underscore sender. So for the D underscore sender, you know, there is some problem actually. The naming, here the configuration looks like not proper for me. Okay, so need to check what's the problem basically. But this is the idea. If you want to find out through the WE20, go to the receiver system, right? Uh, just give me 1 minute. I'm thinking that whether it is right or wrong. Uh, it's for the sender. This is the inbound, right? So when this is the sender, this is the inbound. Okay. And when this is the receiver, this is the outbound. So for this receiver, this is the outbound.
Pankaj, for
Mm-hmm.
the receiver, right?
Mm-hmm.
Receiver, you should have it in inbound. So
Mm.
inbound, and from the outbound, you should be in the center. Should have it in outbound.
Right, right. That's what actually I'm also thinking. By the way, by the way, that should be logically, that is what I'm thinking. That is the logically corrected, uh, please go through that, complete course we have discussed in more detail. I'm now getting confused, but at that point of time, the clear explanation when to put the outbound, where to put the inbound, everything is there. But nothing to worry more over here. It's let's make it simple. uh, in D underscore receiver, if we are not able to find this message type, we can go and check it out the another partner, D underscore sender, which is showing over here, right? And D underscore sender, we can go D underscore sender, and here we can check it out, and here we can see that it is there. So either you double click over here or click over here, anything is fine. Okay, just select it and click over here, or you simply double click over here, and again it will show you the message type, right? So double click on this process code. Under this message type, you have the process code. Double click on this process code, and here under the identification, your function module will be listed. So this is one another way. So exact function module is this one, which is going to get triggered. Okay, so double click over here and you can put the breakpoint. Okay, so this is also what you can do. So we can go over here and find out the partner number. It's a D underscore sender. We are going over here in the D underscore sender, and here we can see that this message type is there. Okay, just double click over here. We can find this process code. Double click on this process code. This identification is nothing but your function module. Okay, so just simply double click on this identification, and that is going to be your what? Function module. So this is also one way you can utilize. So now let me quickly show you. Let me quickly show you using the WE19. Okay, BD87 you understood, right? Let's go and check out through the WE19. WE19 is very easy. WE19 is very easy. So here also, like if you are going to use BD87 or WE19, you should have handy the inbound function module. Okay, sometimes or many a times through a WE19, there is one option over there. From there also you can identify the inbound function modules. WE19, just go to the WE19, give your IDOC number. IDOC number is 6009, right? 6009. Run this one, and if you click on this inbound function module, you know, uh, not inbound function module, a standard inbound. Here you can see that the function module will be there. Okay, so most of the time you will get, but not always. So if you don't find it over here, go to the W57 and try to check it out over there. Okay, so this is how actually you have to. So here you can see that how easy it's, directly from here you can find it out, the function module. Double click over here, and again you can go and put it the breakpoint and start debugging, right? So click on this inbound function module. Okay, and give that inbound function module over here, paste it. This any mode is open, any mode is okay, but just use the in foreground. If you are debugging, it will be good. Click on this continue button, and here you can see that the control has come. So WE19 also you can use for mobile number. Let's go and see why it's not populating this. So it's a custom code. It's very simple to debug, right? Let's go and see that why this is right. So here LFS item, in LFS item 1022 2, right? So here itself the data is not coming properly. So uh, right, 8700435272, this is fine. And LFS item LTZ employee C, LTZ type standard table of Z employee underscore C. Okay, this is fine. Okay, so I got the problem actually, you know. So this is the problem is coming due to the data type. Okay, Z employee underscore C. If you see that it is having /NSC11, let's go to that. ID, CNT, and mobile, right? So ID and CNT, they are not putting it, and directly they are parsing the mobile. Okay, so here in is data, if you see that what is here, ID and CNT. CNT means counter. They are using some counter kind of stuff, you know. So only the in the S data, the 8700435272 is there, and that's why it's creating the problem. So it is not in sync, right? So it should be something like that. Here it should be 10, and how much space you'll have to give? Say ID is of numc 8 character, right? So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Okay, so this much space should be there, and then numc1 count is 1. So 1, just give it, and 1 count over here, and press enter. So now what it will happen, that no, it will be correctly parsed. So shift F12, just go and check it out once again, and this time, and let's observe. So S data fine, and here you can see that this time it is coming fine, but 2 is not coming this time. See, 8700435272. So 2 is getting, so numc 10 only. It's of 10 character, and what we are doing, 2 to 4 to 6 to 8 and to 10, 10 only, right? So 8 and 1 9, 9 10 19. So what actually it should happen, that this space should not be there. Okay, let's go back once again, because the length, complete length is 19 only, and I was given one extra. F6 F6 F6, and this time see here properly coming 10, and that one is the counter and 700435270. So in LFS item now it's coming fine. And now you go and check it out. So because I'm debugging, you will not understand more, but just you go and debug. It is easy. Okay, it's easy. So just press F8 and let's go and see /OSC 16N, and that table name. What the table name was? This one was the table name, right? One is for the header, this is for header, and this is for mobile number and all. So this time we are expecting that, see here, it's a 10, the counter of yours, obviously, because third time we are running. So that is how the programming is done, and this time the mobile number is coming correctly. So what you have to do that, you know, the data which is coming in S data means the program we have to correct accordingly, right? Then only the data is going to populate. Okay, so you got what correction you have to do in the program, right? We have to means we have to set the offset correctly. Okay, we have to set the offset correctly. We'll not go into that part. I have shown you, right, how what is the problem, correct? So do one thing now, one more thing I will show you, and then we will stop the session. Okay, if you observe over here that I have given 6009, but when the successful completion was done, one more IDOC was generated, and that IDOC name was 14002, right? Where we can go and check it, WE05 or WE02, anything is fine. Just give this, run this one, and you can see that today's this particular IDOC got generated, right? Here, partner technical info, see 2nd August 8/9/25. This is the system time, it will show you. So this is like when the IDOC was IDOC got created, and when it got the last database update related to that particular IDOC. Okay, so you can see the extra IDOC number is creating through the WE19. Once again, I will process and I will show you that it's again going to create one more IDOC. WE19, come over here, just run it once again, and inbound function module. Give this, in background is also fine. Okay, run this one, press F8. See here, IDOC was saved. Another one more IDOC got created. Okay, so WE19, this is only the problem you have, or whatever you want to say. This you would not like to have in production. Extra IDOC should not be created in production generally, right? Again, depends on your organization, how big your organization, and what's the rule and audit compliance, all those things. But generally, don't create in production system. Okay, in production system, which transaction we will use? Right here in the comment box, BD87. Type BD87 in the comment box so that you can remember longer. Okay, click on this OK button, and that is. Now you might be thinking, what is the difference between a standard inbound and inbound function module? Through the standard inbound also you can debug. Okay, both is almost same. Both is almost same. In a standard inbound, once you click on this OK button, this will also trigger this function module only. If you click on this OK button, okay. If you cancel, that is fine. You can come here, you can give the function module and start debugging from here. Call in debugging mode. Okay. So here you have the option to call in debugging mode in background, foreground, and foreground after error. I will let you know the difference between this. Okay, but you can use, as of now, you use any this in background or in foreground. Anything is fine. But to start using in foreground, that will be good. Okay, standard inbound. Here you can see that there is no debugging option and all, right? But if you click on this, it will stop it because already I have put the breakpoint, because it will also process through the same function module. See here, it has stopped, right? So anything is fine. It depends on your scenario, just remember, if you click on this, okay, it will deprocess the IDOC. So if you think that this particular transaction is for looking into the function module only, no, this function standard inbound function module, you can get it from here, and if you click on this, okay, it will start reprocessing the IDOC. Got the point? So don't click on this continue button. You should click on this continue button consciously. Why? Because if you click on this continue button, that is that IDOC is going to get reprocessed through this function module. Okay, if you are willing to debug through this inbound function module, come over here, copy this function module name. If you didn't found, I've shown you the other two ways. Just go and try to find it out from those two ways. Okay, copy the function module, click on this inbound function module, give this function module name over here, select the foreground, click on this OK button. That's it, right? Or from here also, if you click on this OK, put the breakpoint first over there on the function module, it will stop. Anything is fine. It's your choice how you want to do. Both way you can do. Inbound file through the IDOC file also we can. So generally what happens that, let's suppose in production system, uh, you know you have some different IDOC, and the same IDOC you want to download and upload here in the test system, and you want to perform the testing, because your team lead or maybe your organization is not allowing to debug the same IDOC, because they are afraid that if some data is going to get posted into some database table. So in that case, you can download the IDOC. CJ3Y is the transaction to download. Okay, or CJ3Z. You can find out the, from Google. Simply you can do this. It's simple. So that's where that particular option comes handy. How to download the IDOC from production to quality in SAP, and we can run. Okay. This one. Existing IDOC, right? Inbound file, just means you can download through that by clicking on that, and then CJ3Z or something like that, file as a template, right? Just go and check it out. Okay, so inbound file means you can download this one, and then CJ3Y or CJ3Z, some another transaction you have to use in order to upload that IDOC into the, you know uh, into the different system, and then again the new IDOC will be created, and that you can start debugging. Okay, so, or maybe I will create one separate video for that, because again, if we're going into that, it will take more another half an hour like that. So let's not go into that. This is uh, such kind of a stuff like the inbound file and all we use not very frequently, very rarely, but this inbound function module one we use very frequently. So you got some idea at least how to debug the inbound IDOC, right? How to debug the inbound IDOC, correct? Fine. So just last time, type yes if you understood the concept which we discussed today, you know, how to debug the inbound IDOC, so that I can know, okay, you understood this concept well. Thank you, Chidambaram. Other people, if you didn't understand, type no, so that, I can understand you didn't understand, and you can ask the question. I will unmute and you can ask the question, and I will try with my best to explain once again. Other people? Okay. Thank you everyone for the confirmation. Now you can unmute yourself, and any doubt or anything else if you want to discuss, feel free to discuss. And tomorrow at the same time, we have the class for debugging the outbound IDOC. Okay.
Hi Pankaj, I need some help on LSMW. I stuck actually in one scenario.
Okay, so LSMW, let's discuss in the inner circle call. This weekend we have the inner circle call. There we'll be discussing. Today, if you have any question related with IDOC, please go ahead and ask.
Um,
Yeah.
Hello, Pankaj.
Yes. Yeah.
In outbound side, can you explain the change points
Yeah.
tomorrow?
Tomorrow we are going to
Uh,
discuss. Yeah.
okay. Actually, we are getting some issues in change pointers in receiver
Yeah.
side.
Debugging. From the debugging perspective, we are going to discuss the change pointer tomorrow.
Okay.
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 How to
Actually,
debug.
there are changes
Mm-hmm.
in sender side, but we are not getting the receiver side. Those changes, but we are
Mm-hmm.
getting the success status code.
Yeah, we will see this one. Don't worry. Okay.
Okay. And one more thing,
Mm-hmm.
we are getting the status code, success code, but
Mm-hmm.
we are getting the some descriptions. Like in AF,
Mm-hmm.
we are getting the some error descriptions.
Fine, no problem. The thing is that we have to debug, why the status is coming, means why the status is
Yeah.
not aligned with the message,
Yeah.
right?
Those are all
Mm.
in outbound side, right? If they configured
Mm.
correctly, we are getting the correct, right?
So that's why, like, if you have the basic understanding of, like, the IDOC, like how we can configure the change pointer, right? So in change
Yeah.
pointer for out, we have the outbound function model, which is responsible for, processing the data, correct?
Mm. Yes,
So
yes.
there I will show you that which is the T code where you can go and check out the uh, outbound function module. I think BD56. You can just give the uh, W42. 1 second. Inbound process code. This is for, I'm not able to remember now. I will take it. I will
Yeah,
prepare
you can
for.
explain tomorrow. No problem.
Yeah,
No
I
problem.
will. I will explain tomorrow from where you can. There is a T code where you can go and check it out.
Okay.
You can give the message type and it will let you know, like, but generally I don't do in that way. uh that is very simple. We can use using the layer aware, because layer aware, again, like, it is going to, you know call the G function module, or so G function module we are going to use for the purpose of processing the change pointer for the outbound program, right? So you can enable the layer aware, like, say, what we do generally, RBD app, RBDM IDOC, right? This
Yes, yes.
is the program for reprocessing the
Outbound side.
outbound IDOC related with the change pointer, right?
Yes, yes.
Related with the change pointer. So when you run, you have to give here the message type, correct?
Yes.
And when you are going to run this, what actually I'm trying to tell, when you run this, simply what you do, so by that way you don't have to remember that particular T code and all. Press this configure layer aware, and just come here, and here, that is a function module, that will be certainly function module, so that is going to be either in Y star or Z star package, you know or it will be $tmp. There can be nothing more than this. So $tmp, because this is the system, right? That is a standard message, so there is a there is a there is no chance that it will be there. But if it is a custom message type, we can do like this. Okay, Y star Z star, this is the important, because you might be doing in quality or production, right?
Yes.
So their $tmp is not making sense. This is the demo system, that's why I have just given $tmp. Just you give Y star Z star, and once you run this one, just press F5, and just once you run, what it will, that it will stop on the custom function module. Okay, see here, because this is only the standard one, there is no custom function module or something like that, so it didn't stop. Okay, so just do like this, and you will be able to identify your custom function module, and there go and check the message. Fine. Fine, then with this, let's stop our session over here. Tomorrow we are going to discuss about the outbound function module. Okay. Anything else? No, fine. Okay, let me stop the recording.